Hey there, YouTube. It's Cougar Driven. It's about 10:30 on Thursday, December 9th. And I'm a couple days late in responding to this, but I was going to make a video response a couple days ago to the Philip DeFranco show. The question of the day that day was, what news story has impacted me the most the past couple of weeks, and I'll get to that later. But first, a little bit of, breaking news, sort of. Not really breaking so much as news. As people may have heard, Elizabeth Edwards passed away a couple days ago of cancer at the age of 61. Here's a good one, and this one's so good that, first of all, I have to point this out, I'm wearing my Villian gloves because I'm about to kick some ass. The Westboro Baptist Church is going to be picketing her funeral in Raleigh, North Carolina this weekend. They said some things that are ridiculous and don't really make much sense, which is pretty typical for Westboro. But here's one. This is a direct quote from their press release. John Edwards, burn that willful tripe Elizabeth has been writing for those children as a poisonous substitute for her Deuteronomy 6 duty. Now, I looked up Deuteronomy 6 and I read the whole thing. And so far, the only thing I can see is a commandment to the Jews to obey their God. Elizabeth Edwards was not Jewish. Elizabeth Edwards rightfully lost some faith in her God. I would have as well if I were in her situation. And it's really funny that they addressed that to John Edwards. They were trying to, as if they were trying to set him straight. The reason I found that amusing is because earlier in that same document they called him faithless and whorish. That was probably legitimate. And a couple of other things that really just complete and total bullshit all the way around. So, yet again, Westboro Baptist Church succeeding at bigotry, succeeding at hatred, failing hard at making sense. Good job, guys. Good job. Next, there's been the tax cuts, man. That's gonna bother me. And I'm on the lower end of the income spectrum, so I really, really enjoy what little tax cuts I get. However, if I have to pay, say, $100 more tax in 2011 than I would have in 2010, and as a result of that, the federal government doesn't just collapse in on itself and we have anarchy, I'll do it. I'm pretty sure anybody would do it. The taxes that we pay go to the government for a reason, to keep it running. And tax cuts, especially those that are, intended for the super rich, are not in anyone's best interest. Least of all, the people on the bottom end of the spectrum who may need assistance from the government in their lives, like I have and probably will. And it's kind of insulting that President Obama would concede, would just give up on such an important point. In 2008, I was ineligible to vote because I had just moved somewhere. But that's the thing. I had publicly announced my intention to vote for Barack Obama in 2008. And at this point, I wonder if that was a smart thing to do. I mean, I'm not saying John McCain would have been any better. It would have been worse. These tax cuts would never even been considered for expiring. But the things that have been happening in response, the Don't Ask, Don't Tell repeal failed because it's being blocked by Republicans, probably because the Democrats rightly rejected the tax cut deal. I think that's a good thing. I think it's a bad thing that President Obama seems to have given up on his stance of change. Still got 2 years left in this term. We'll see where it takes him. But on the other side of the issue, it's really funny. I heard this today. Apparently, the guy who drafted the Arizona immigration law, he's a senator there, and apparently, he said that the president may not be allowed to enter the state of Arizona. Not that he will not be allowed to, but it's possible that he will not be allowed to enter the state of Arizona because they require papers now. I gotta say this. I want to see an Arizona Highway Patrol officer take on a Secret Service officer. I want to see it. I want somebody to record it and post it on YouTube. I want to see this shit. Because that seems to me like the funniest thing I've ever seen. Really. I hate to break it to Arizona, but secession is illegal. And that's about the only way you're going to prevent the President of the United States, of which you are a part, from entering your state. Also, there may have been a thinly veiled assassination threat in there. I'm really not sure how I was supposed to take that Second Amendment crack, but dumbass. I take it as this guy's being a dumbass. Which, you know, politician. Kinda makes sense. Moving on to some lighter things. If you watch any of my other videos, you see I follow EverymanHYBRID. And the first trial of the 7 trials I have is over. We started with 231, though in effect we started with 227, seeing as how there were 4 rapids eliminated before the trials even technically started. He'd split groups. We are down to 157. We are still split into 3 groups, which are I've done the math. Still mostly separated evenly. I note that the later people, the people who got in towards the end, have been eliminated far more frequently. Probably because they missed their invitation email or something. I really don't know. We're all waiting for the second trial to begin, and I wish all of my other 156 fellow hybrid followers, and in the case of four special guys, the hybrids themselves, I wish everybody excellent luck, and well, don't die. And you know, finally, this is the kind of the reason I wanted to make this video in the first place. I wanted to talk about Julian Assange and the WikiLeaks. I like Philly B's term, clusterfuck, because that's exactly what it is. I'm not going to rehash it, but I'm going to point out that I think it's crap. I think it's crap that the man was arrested for a bogus sex charge. I think it's crap that he was held without bail, even though several of his followers offered £100,000 to bail him out of prison, or jail, I suppose. I think it's crap that it seems that the United States is in talks with Sweden already, before he's been charged with a crime in the United States, to possibly have him extradited. He may never even see a Swedish jail. He may just go straight to the United States and be charged with, I believe he'll be treated, if he does come here and they file charges, he'll be treated as an enemy combatant suspected of espionage. Which, it seems kind of fucked up. Because, okay, this is just common sense. If you have a problem with classified and confidential documents being leaked to the media, stop the leak, don't stop the media. It is not Julian Assange's fault that a 23-year-old guy leaked a whole bunch of papers that became known as the Iraq War Papers. Or wait, no. No, he released the bombing in Baghdad back in 2007. It's not Julian's fault that happened. And that guy is under arrest for disseminating confidential material, which is a legitimate charge. Do I think that this guy who is my age should be sent to prison for the next, 50 years because of disillusionment with his armed forces? Certainly not. But it's not my place to decide military justice. However, publishing confidential material is not illegal. The Pentagon Papers prove that. Why is this even a fucking question?